Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next edition of our monthly updates. So we are concluding July, and we had a few interesting things happen this month, and most of our team is on vacation, so hence you're seeing just the two of us. But nevertheless, it was a month filled with interesting updates and a couple of interesting uh, highlights as well. And here with me, we have Bruce Ahn, our head of developer relations. And so without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with organizational updates. So Bruce, normally July is a very quiet month, but I don't think that was the case for Partisia blockchain. So what were the organizational highlights in July?
Yeah. First of all, that blue shirt is great. That's number one, right? It's a fantastic
Thank you.
color, I think. That's a great shirt. I had to get a shirt like that. All my shirts are either black and white. So, um, but yeah, I think July is just generally a very quiet month for the most part. July and August, right? Especially in Europe, and a lot of our teams are based in Denmark. So, um, we expected a quiet month. But actually, yeah, like you said, we were quite busy. So we started off July, I think, with a adoptions team kickoff meeting, where we brought in all of our new adoptions officers into Denmark to have an offsite to align on value propositions. You know, what it is that we're really selling, what it is that we're really trying to get people to adopt into our system, and just bring everybody together for a team building exercise. It was, in my view, it was very successful. Everybody got aligned as to what it is that we're really trying to to help convey to people, the value proposition that we're really trying uh, to spread to the world, basically. Um, so I thought that was very successful. Um, and as a result of that, I think we'll be doing some additional introductions to the new adoptions team members. They'll have some time on video as well. I think Matthias also did one video in the past. So we did that, right? The other exciting part was that we just recently announced our grants program. I'm super excited
Actually,
about that. Yeah.
tell me more about the grants program because uh, when people hear grants, right, they think of money, but our grants program is unique in a sense that it it looks for very specific projects that are trying to actually solve real world problems rather than rather than talk about it. So getting, tangible use cases, tangible solutions. So what what kind of grant recipients are we looking for, and what would
Yeah.
be the who like give me the profile of ideal grant recipient? I know it's
Yeah.
difficult to answer, but just off the top of your head.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great question. And I think that goes back into the unique value propositions that Partisia brings in regards to, privacy preserving, in regards to interoperability and the scalability aspect of it. And those different value propositions together create a infrastructure that allows teams to build something that is unique, something that is very different than what you can build in other blockchains in the industry. So examples of things are, even if we take a look at Web3 space, even a DEX that can prevent
Mm.
front running, truly be able to prevent front running because we can do privatized auctions, or things like allowing data sets from various different uh, uh, organizations to be able to allow them to share and and create analysis around it without divulging their secrets, right? Or even things like privatized voting, where you can have a DAO where when people vote for a particular, proposal, that a individual vote, perhaps from somebody maybe who is very influential, doesn't influence the direction of the vote because their vote and what they voted for is privatized. So that brings integrity back into the voting process and more integrity into a DAO to be able to create these unique value propositions that you can't build on any other chain is what makes me excited, right? That's number one. And I think those are the kind of teams that we're kind of looking for. Those teams that are looking to break out of the same type of applications that you see in all other blockchains.
That's that's very interesting. And as a reminder to our viewers, so we have 3 million MPC tokens available for grant. So that's 1.2 US dollar equivalent as of today. And you mentioned the integrity and you mentioned that there are real world problems that they're trying to solve. All of this, which aligns with SDG and UN's Sustainable Development Goals. And I know you have something about SDG that you want to share with our viewers.
I think there's two things, right? There's two things. Number one, you know that our foundation is aligned with the UN SDG goals. That's number one, right? But the other thing is that our culture and our technology is really distilled and years of research, academic research. So we have a very deep tie back to academia and universities. And so we recently are sponsoring. We actually sponsored it last year as well, but this year we're also sponsoring again a PhD graduate summer school program in the University of Geneva, where we're sponsoring a group of students that are interested in building a application that's around privacy, that is aligned to SDG goals, and is working with a partner to be able to build out this application called Lunar, which helps to privatize information, health information, but still allow for research analysts to be able to extract that information out for research purposes. In fact, one of the researchers, basically said, "Oh my God, the amount of data that we can get from this is beyond anything else that we have access to." To
While
be able
preserving
to
the patient's privacy, of course.
exactly. And so they were like, "We want to get this data, but we can't get it because of privacy reasons. What can we do?" Right. And so these students wanted to help figure out how to get these really important critical data for the researchers to make progress on how COVID vaccine impacts females in different times and different situations. So we're sponsoring again the University of Geneva's PhD summer school program to help these students come up with a proposal based on privacy preserving technology like MPC. And we're super excited about that as well, and to see the results
Exactly.
of that.
I mean, healthcare and access to healthcare and research are, one of the key pillars within the SDG. And our sponsorship and involvement with the University of Geneva definitely goes beyond just research. It translates into many potential solutions in healthcare and new types of treatments in the future. So we can't even fathom what it can do in the future, but it is a first step, and hopefully we'll see the fruits of it. And earlier we mentioned that July is normally a slow month in Europe, right? So July and August are a very slow month and people take their time off. But that didn't actually stop our ecosystem from expanding. I know we have new members within our ecosystem, but if you were to pick, right, which ecosystem members stood out in July?
Yeah, so we had three teams, I think, that really stood out. They all reached their milestones. Well, I would have to include four. I would say four teams that really stood out in our ecosystem that is currently building on our chain right now. So we had 1,000 Faces, which is again is the privatized DAO fundraising, which ties back into SDG goals, like you mentioned. Um, we also had Monadi, which also is tied to SDG goals because they're
Yes.
looking to enable companies to meet the CSDR requirements that's coming up in 2024. So we had those two teams. We also had Wheezy, or Second Lane, which is creating a privatized second market, and a OTC second market for staff sales for different types of tokens that are out there. And then we also had eTrusty, our top winner from our December hackathon, which is looking to create a privatized but also transparent mix of privacy and transparent auction system to transform the public tender market that
Which will definitely decrease the amount of corruption in.
exactly.
So all of them are actually tied to SDGs and corporate social responsibility, basically.
I think so, and they're also solving problems. They're really solving
Yeah.
problems
I
that
mean, look at
um,
Thousand Faces, right? So they are working with underrepresented groups from across the world,
yeah,
be it and they're trying to ensure that equality and inclusiveness are a given rather than a choice. So I
right,
think what they're trying to do, and all of these four projects, they all have their different reasons, but I think the end goal is the same. It's to build a better functioning world and a better functioning society that where everyone actually can own their private data, first of all, right? And maintain their and ensure that only bits they want to share is shared while being able to, if not monetize, but use the encrypted, let's say, or secret data for the betterment of the society. I mean, this is my very drilled down explanation because, of course, they all have their own specific ways of telling their story, but that's my understanding. And I think what we will also see, I think we'll see more new members being highlighted in the future. Am I right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just to touch upon that other point about being rewarded, right?
Mm.
It really is about proper rewarding. So I'll tangent off into a article that I was reading about where I think it was in regards to ChatGPT, and the tie back into WorldCoin. And I'm not 100% sure if this is true or not, but it's an example of how where we're transforming the use of your data, where you're not selling your data anymore, right?
Mm.
To a entity, but now you're selling the use of your data. So I'll give you an example. So this article was talking about how WorldCoin wanted to scan your iris and
Mm-hmm.
use that to determine whether or not you're a real person or not. And they would reward you for the scanning of your iris, the image itself.
Wow.
So my question was, okay, how much is the scan of my iris worth that I would just give that away, right? And so that's the difference, I think, between selling your data and selling just the use of your data.
Mm.
And this technology, this multi-party computation technology and the privacy preserving blockchain that we introduced allows you to now sell the use of your data rather
Mm.
than just selling your data completely and they can just use it for whatever they want to monetize it, right?
Mm. Yeah,
That's so exciting to me.
it is. It is. And I think we actually don't realize how much private data is being used out there without our knowledge.
Mhm.
while we just click agree to everything without reading the small print. And then the next day, well, maybe not the next day, and then when you actually go and look deeper how it's been used and abused, it
Mm.
is quite shocking. But anyways,
Yeah.
we it's a long topic, right? We can go on and on about it. So you know, we've been, so now we're at the end of seventh month of the year, and usually it's always a good time to see where things are. And I just wanted to, and we see this question a lot as well. Like, let's check in on our roadmap, right? So where we
Mhm.
are on our roadmap journey as
Yeah.
of now.
As you already know, we did our roadmap spotlight. We highlighted six major items of the roadmap. For me, anyway, my personal item that I'm excited about is anything that's driving adoption, right?
Mm.
So things like new tools and feature sets that will allow for developers to develop easier and add additional functionality into their applications. So things like arithmetic and MPC protocols, right? Allowing the ability for now to privatize massive amounts of data. We're talking millions and millions of rows that now you're able to privatize and still able to compute on them, which opens up like large statistical model for medical data, as an example, or maybe even machine learning. Machine learning will now be able to be implementable um, while still being able to privatize the actual data sets that it needs to compute on. So I'm really excited about that. The research into the native Bitcoin could be a game changer. So super excited about that one. We've also talked a little bit about the BYOC token onboarding framework, which now gives the power to onboard a BYOC token to the community and allowing them to vote on that is also very exciting. So we've got a ton of stuff that we're working on over the next few months. The other item that I'll also mention is the ease of operations from our node operators. It's not just the developers that are critical for us; it's also the node
Mhm.
operators that are securing our network. So to make things easier for them is a very important item for us from a prioritization perspective. So those are the things that are like really exciting to me. Looking forward to it.
Perfect. I mean, we are on track with our roadmap, and I know there'll be more updates coming. So as we enter August, right? So are there any interesting things or specific items that viewers should be looking forward to in August?
And I think the viewers should be hopefully happy to hear that we'll be onboarding more projects. So we have a couple of different projects, but really interesting ones that we are close to signing and onboarding them into beginning to build our chain. Adoption is, our priority, our key priority.
Can you give us a bit of a more teaser about these projects without mentioning their names, right? What
Yeah,
they're trying to achieve, their profile.
yeah. So we have a couple of different interesting use cases. Number one, the first one is the ability for um, uh, the ability to use NFT as
Mm.
real records of data for governments. So that's going to be
Okay.
very interesting
Yeah.
to be able to see this really happening. The other is a DID SSI solution. So if you kind of think about DID and SSI, it's
That's
really more about
digital
like,
identification
yes,
for the
yes,
rest
yes,
of the
yes.
viewers. Yes.
And self-sovereign IDs, right?
Yeah.
If you kind of take a look at that industry as a whole, it's about verifying that yes, I have an ID and this is a digital ID and I can use that to verify something. But there's a lot of things that occur either during the verification process or after the verification process that you also need to continue to verify, whether it's your age, date of birth, your geographic location, your citizenship, your likes and dislikes of certain things. There's a whole host of stuff, a whole
Mhm.
host of data that you still will want to privatize on, but still be able to verify. And so the technology is like zero knowledge proof. It's very difficult to do because every single verification for every single parameter has to be done one at a time. So it doesn't scale when you're talking about 10,000 to 100,000 people. And um, you're also only getting yes or no answers, right? You can't compute on that data.
Mm.
So we have a DID slash SSI application that is looking to do additional verifications after that, which we hope will be fine. Um, we're very close to signing. And then we also have another application that is looking to um, use some things with health records. So we talked about arithmetic protocols where you'll now be able to do massive amounts of data computation. So tying that technology back to now enabling entities that you actually have massive amounts of data from different
Mm.
data sets, right? And to be able to combine them securely and privately and allow for research data to be extractable and to monetize on that. So that's another project that we're hoping to onboard and be able to announce in August.
This is a very juicy teaser. So I'm definitely looking forward to. So just so the viewers know, I have an idea which projects those might be, but I don't. I'm not 100% sure. So, but from what you just said, Bruce, I'm excited. I'm excited to meet these projects and talk to them and get to know them better. And I'm pretty sure our viewers too. And we'll make sure that we share those news with you as and when they get signed and sealed and made public. We'll make sure to share with you. So on that big note and on that juicy teaser, so this is goodbye for now. July has been very interesting and very intense month, and I think August will be the same. And we'll check in with you guys in a month's time.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.